Hello everyone, good morning and welcome back to Sports Today. We bring you this video segment every morning to help you catch up on whatever it is that you may have missed out on whilst you were getting some all-important rest. Because let's face it, whilst you need sleep, I need sleep, the whole world needs sleep. The world of sport doesn't really sleep. There's always something or the other happening, and it can get a little tiring to keep track of every single thing. That is unless, of course, you're one of us and you just enjoy watching sport, but even then it can be a bit much. Luckily for you, we guys live, eat, breathe sport 24/7, so we will help you catch up on some things that you may have missed out on. And believe you me when I say we have some really interesting things for you to catch up on in this particular edition of the Morning Wrap. Let's first start with one thing. This man right here, Rohit Sharma, and if you're wondering why it is that we're talking about him in Mumbai Indians clothing, well, then that is because there has finally been some sort of a revelation, some sort of an explanation really from the Mumbai Indians camp as to why it is that he was removed from the MI captaincy and replaced with Hardik Pandya. Mark Boucher, who's of course the head coach of the Mumbai Indians, has spoken out in a podcast and he said that it was purely a cricketing decision. We looked at Rohit's form with the bat and we saw that he hadn't been performing as well. We just wanted to take some of the pressure off him and bring in some fresh blood, inject some fresh impetus into the side. So that is the main reason why, of course, they went as hard as they did for a Hardik Pandya. Many would have said that, perhaps it could have been done differently, perhaps they could have waited for Hardik to go to the auction. But again, if Hardik goes to the auction, is there a guarantee that MI signs him? This way, no matter how much money they were forking over, they get their man, they ensure that perhaps Rohit Sharma gets to bat freely with a smile on his face. Those are the words that Boucher used. We'll do a more detailed video on this, but this is an interesting thing I thought I'd start off and share with you guys. A bit of a harrowing incident also happened recently, but this is not the second news bit that we're talking about involving this man, the West Indian all-rounder Fabian Allen. Now, Allen is currently playing in South Africa in the SA20 for the Paarl Royals, and he suffered a rather unfortunate incident. He was the victim of a mugging. Now, this has been confirmed. News has come out of South Africa when Allen was mugged and a few valuables were taken from him. The good news is the player was unharmed. The bad news is it doesn't really do any favors to the rep of South Africa that an international level cricketer can come to the nation and get mugged. And to be fair, if you have been a long time watcher of our channel, even we've shared stories where some of our correspondents have also faced similar incidents in South Africa. It can sometimes be a little unsafe, but this happening to a player, not going to be a very good look for South Africa and will raise concerns over the level of safety that there is for players when they have to travel there. And speaking of travel, the England men's cricket team, of course, suffered a pretty big loss in the second test of the 5-match series that they're currently taking part in India, but with a bit of a gap now between the second and third test. In fact, it's a gap of nearly 10 days, thanks to, of course, the fact that the match finished a day early. England aren't going to be hanging around in India during that interim. No, they're going to be flying back to their base in Abu Dhabi as soon as they can. Then by the 12th or 13th, come right back to India because the test starts in 15th. So they'll reach Rajkot on either the 12th or 13th. In that time period, they're going to be spending their time in Abu Dhabi, potentially maybe in the ICC Academy, trying to get a hold of some pitches that would potentially be like the one they can encounter in India, because again, India did kind of flip the script on them. They came prepared for rank turners, showed exactly that in the first test in Hyderabad where the pitch did turn. Then in the second test, which was on a much batter-friendly surface, England, ironically, were caught off guard. So they're going to definitely be stepping up their preparations and ensuring they're ready for all circumstances come the third test at Rajkot, but they will not be doing that preparation, let's say, in India. Switching our focus now from the world of cricket to the world of football, and Phil Foden, this man was added for Manchester City and his 2 goals ensured that they were able to win their latest Premier League match. What does that do? Well, it takes City 2 points off the top of the table. In fact, currently Liverpool are there at the top of the table, City right now in second, and given that City in recent seasons have kind of developed a reputation as being slow starters, but then being able to find another gear once the season reaches the key points, it does seem like City are doing exactly that right now. It'll definitely be interesting to see if they can continue on this form, but right now all indications are good for Pep Guardiola's men that they can make another tilt towards the title. More football news, this time from the other side of Manchester, and unfortunately it's not a good one if you're a Manchester United fan. Defender Lisandro Martinez has suffered a fresh injury setback and is expected to be sidelined for about 8 weeks. You heard that right. 8 weeks is the time the Argentinian defender will be sidelined. And this is a huge blow because, again, Martinez is perhaps their best defender right now. He's able to kind of, let's say, play the kind of style that manager Erik ten Hag favors. And overall, also, all the stats back him as being the most key man for United's defense. Unfortunately, they're going to have to do 8 weeks, which is about 2 months without Licha, as he's nicknamed, in their side. Switching our focus now to a few other sports, and this is a bit of a harrowing, well, we start off with some good news, let's say. Sumit Nagal will be in action later today in the ATP Challenger event that is taking place in Chennai. Now, Nagal, of course, ended up capturing the attention of the nation when he ended up surprising everyone by beating Alexander Bublik, or Sasha Bublik as he's known, in the first round of the Australian Open. He became the first unseeded player to beat a seeded player in over 2 decades. So that was a pretty big deal. And what that did was, not only did it help Nagal get a little extra money, it also ensured that he went up the rankings even further. Currently, he's ranked about 121, and he's going to be playing the home Challenger series. Of course, there is one in Chennai, but there'll also be events taking place in Pune, as well as, of course, New Delhi. So there's plenty of action, plenty of places you can see Sumit Nagal in action. He'll be starting his campaign later today, so we'll bring you the updates on that, see how it is he fares. Of course, Challenger events are about a rung down from the ATP events, the main ATP events that take place, whether that be 250s, 500s, or of course the ATP Masters or the 1000 events. But if Nagar can actually do really well in this event, if he goes all the way, perhaps then there's 100 ranking points more for him, and so that would also potentially help him boost himself up the rankings a little bit. Of course, not all of the events are 100s here. There is, of course, Pune and Delhi are 75, if I'm not mistaken. So not a lot of ranking points on offer, but it is a tried and tested way, if you're a player outside the top 100 of the rankings, to kind of take on these smaller events, get enough ranking points, push our ranking points up, then be in contention for the bigger events. And one would hope, of course, that Nagal, after doing so well in the Grand Slams, can take on that form, carry it over into the Challenger events as well. The harrowing news I was talking about involves this man, India defender Varun Kumar. Well, the hockey defender, well, he has been implicated, or in fact, there's an FIR that has been lodged against him as far as, sexual assault is concerned. Now, what makes things worse is that the victim in this case is allegedly a minor, or was a minor, when the alleged, abuse occurred. And she has, of course, now filed an FIR naming him in that FIR. One would hope that justice takes its due course in this case, but looking at it purely from a sporting perspective, it is an unfortunate thing really for the hockey team that he had to get caught up in it. But again, hey, they were his actions, and if it is indeed true, then he deserves to be punished to the full extent of the law. And speaking of harassment and people who are under investigation, this man right here, Christian Horner, who's of course the Red Bull Racing team principal in the Formula 1 sport, well, he too is currently under a little bit of an investigation by Red Bull, the parent company of the F1 racing team, because there have been concerns or allegations made against him about controlling and coercive behavior. Now, that is something that in today's day and age is very much frowned upon and not seen as a good thing. Horner, it is worth noting, has denied the allegations, but if, let's say, there were to be any truth or credence in these speculations, and it turns out that the investigation leads to something deeper, then it does put Horner's status as F1's longest serving team principal at the moment in a little bit of jeopardy. Why? Because he's been in charge since 2005, which is when Red Bull Racing came into existence. It's now 2023, which means it's been close to 2 decades for him at the helm of the team, and he's led them to a lot of championships. But if this investigation does prove to his downfall, it would be very, very unfortunate for the team. But again, as I said, if you behave a certain way, there always are going to be consequences, especially in today's day and age. And that's it from us in this edition of the Morning Rapid Sports today. Thank you guys so much for joining us. If you enjoy our work, please don't forget to like it, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Don't forget to download the Sports app. And if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. And stay tuned through the day. We have plenty more coming your way. For now, though, from my side, it's goodbye.